Rebuilding existing structures has become super important over the past few years. Now, 3D scanning what's already there and using that as a base for modeling is, if done right, faster, more accurate, and results in a better overall quality. The only problem is working with point clouds in Revit can sometimes be a real challenge. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the Qbitec plugin for Revit, a new plugin that claims to fix the biggest issues with how Revit handles point clouds. Let's check it out. Now here we are on the Qbitec website, and here we have basically a list of all of the issues that Revit has that Qbitec aims to solve. So we have small point clouds only, so when it comes to large point clouds in Revit, it's not going to handle that. You need to manually reduce them or split them, which is always an issue. Then we have data duplication needed, where point clouds need to be copied to a local hard drive, making data management quite challenging. We don't really have any support for online platforms with the regular kind of Revit workflow. We have suboptimal presentation. I'm sure if you've ever opened up a point cloud in Revit, it can be really challenging to see what's actually going on there and where are all of the elements you want to model. We don't really have any support for panoramas and high hardware demands. So if you've been opening up point clouds in Revit, you probably know that it tends to slow you down so much. So Qbitec aims to solve this. Now I'm going to be showing you the Revit workflow with Qbitec right now, but first I want to show you that you can actually follow along by getting the trial versions. This is a 14-day trial, but if you enter the coupon code Balkan, you will get it extended to 30 days. I will be leaving a link to this website up in the cards above and then also down in the description of this video. And full disclosure, this is a sponsored video. Now, without any further ado, let's jump straight into Revit. And here we are inside of Revit. Now I have downloaded and installed the Qbitec plugin and activated the evaluation license that they've sent me. So now that means that when I open up Revit, on the ribbon here I'm going to have the Qbitec tab. When I open that up, you're going to notice that we have all of the tools and features for Qbitec, and the first button is the Insert Point Cloud button. So I'm just going to click on that, and this is now looking at my local sources. So as you can see, local projects, and this is going to support anything that's on your computer, so the local drive, flash drive, or your local network. Now I'm going to add my first point cloud, so I'm just going to go here to add files. I'm going to select the file, and here you can see all of the file formats that are supported right now, and more are going to be added in the future. So I'm just going to select this file and then hit open. Here we can see it has over this is over a billion points. So I'm going to start the conversion, and this can take anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes for a larger file. And there we go. It took about 8 minutes, which I think is amazing for this file that has over a billion points. Now, as I mentioned before, this is using a local file. However, if you go to settings, you can see here for sources, you can add a new data source, and that data source can be another local source, or here we have the Navis, where you can kind of stream directly from the cloud, and new online or web sources are going to be added in the future. In this case, I'm just going to cancel out of here. Now also here we have the preview, so you can just click on the preview and it's going to open up this little window where you can pan around and orbit around just to make sure that this is the exact point cloud that you want to bring in. Also, when you click here off to the side, you can see that for insert we have multiple options. So we have center to center, origin to internal origin, or by shared coordinates, so all of the Revit options for inserting files. I'm just going to go with center to center, and that's going to bring in this point cloud. Also, it's important to mention that this whole process of loading in the file that took a little bit to convert the file, that you need to do only once. After that, you can just load it back into Revit and it's going to be really quick. As you can see, we can very quickly orbit around this point cloud, and also something that you're going to notice immediately is the fact that the points are a lot denser than you would normally see in Revit, and you can actually modify this. So if we go here to the display panel and go into settings, here we can set the point size, so we can actually make the points smaller, just like this. I can even go to 1 pixel for 1 point, and this would give you kind of the visualization that you would get in Revit normally. Here I'm just going to increase it right now, so it's going to make those points a lot denser, meaning that it's going to create this impression of a solid wall. Then we have the option to adjust the brightness, so we can make it darker or lighter, and also we can adjust the contrast as well, just to make it a bit easier to see the things we want to see. Now I'm just going to reset this to defaults. Now in terms of visualization, we have the standard RGB, which is what we're looking at right now. We also have normal, which is going to kind of emphasize the structural elements. This is also super helpful in situations where we have a point cloud that doesn't have any color. And after that we have the X-ray, which is my favorite. So let me show you how this works. I'm just going to go back to RGB, and then I'm going to switch here to a top view. Let's actually spin this around just like that. Okay, so now we have the correct orientation, and now I'm going to click on X-ray. What you'll notice is that we're going to get a full X-ray that's going to see through our model, and it's actually going to look like a floor plan, and we can use this in order to, well, sketch out or draft out our floor plan view. So let's first go to the elevation and just open up one of the elevations, and then here I just want to set up the levels. So level 1 I'm just going to bring down here, and then level 2, let's make sure it kind of matches on top, just like that. Okay, perfect. Next, I'm going to go back to the 3D view, and here, if I want to see those walls a little bit better, I can go to settings and then increase the contrast, and as you can see, it's going to make it a bit easier to work. And now I can simply go here to the wall tool and then pick out a basic wall and just start drafting. So I can set the height to level 2. I can make sure that this is finished face exterior, and then I can just start creating these walls going all around our model, just like that. Okay, so here we have this angled wall, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, it's really easy to follow the floor plan or to see the floor plan through the X-ray visualization option that we have over here. Now also you can see these bubbles, and they are really useful, especially once you start modeling over this data set or point cloud, because they're going to allow you to just confirm that you're doing everything right. So in order to use these points, we're going to go here to View Pano or Panorama, and then we can select any one of these points. I'm just going to select this one, and now this will open up a panorama view. Now this isn't just a camera view of our point cloud, it's actually a proper panorama image view, and we can simply look around this model just like that. So I can look off to the side so we can see all of the items here, everything that's included in this scan or in this panorama image, but we can also see that it's properly overlapping with the geometry that they have just created in Revit. So what I can do with this is I can take this panorama view, I can dock it here off to the side, so we have this split view. And here I've just created this floor plan view just to make it a bit easier to work with, and then I'm going to go to architecture, go to door, and I'm simply going to place this door over here. What you'll notice immediately that here on the panorama view, well, we have that door immediately update and show up here. So this is a great way to kind of confirm all of the modeling that you're doing kind of live by using these panorama images. So this is the basic workflow with Qbitec. You have your point clouds, which can be as large as you want them to be. You can store them on your local drive, on your network, or even on cloud. You have better visualization, so you can understand your data even better, and you have these panorama images that are going to be a great help when it comes to the modeling process. Now, there are a few more features that we haven't talked about. So if I go here to Qbitec, we also have this cloud visualization. So if I turn that on, it's just going to give you different colors depending on your point cloud. So for example, if you have 2 point clouds overlapped, one for the exterior and one for the interior, for example, you can use this to differentiate those. You also have this button to toggle the visibility of your point clouds on and off, and then you also have the set survey coordinate system option. So if you've ever dealt with setting up the coordinates with your point clouds, you know that it's a difficult process. This makes it super simple. You just press it and the server coordinate system will be moved to the global origin of the model. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell, as it's a tool that doesn't try to do everything for you. It does this very specific thing extremely efficiently, and it makes your life easier when it comes to point clouds in Revit. Now, this has been created by a small team, and it's a fairly new tool, and we can expect some really useful updates in the future. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you would like to try it out, there is a 30-day free trial, so you can just sign up by clicking on the link in the cards above or down in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.